So in my last video I mentioned that you have permission to copy and share. Apparently someone was already doing that. I just recently found out that my video about coincidence was already copied and shared. The reason I want my videos to be shared is just in case YouTube decides to delete it and there will be other ones out there. That's the main reason. I want to make sure it's clear of the conditions of sharing if you decide to post on your channel. 1. You can't use my work for profit. It's only for spreading the truth. 2. Make sure you leave the source or the link of where you got the video. And 3. The title must remain the same. By the way, if you haven't seen the other video by now, you might want to do that first because this one is going to ruin it for you. So I see the video on the other channel. I have no problem with it. He left the link. He's also doing pretty good with it too, gaining up to 3,000 views a day while mine's get like 10 a day. Now I understand why the sudden decline in views. I guess mine's got replaced on the algorithm. YouTube telling on themselves on how they work. I don't know what to say about that. Some people even giving him credit for making the video.
Got him! Got him!
I wonder if they think the comment still comes to my channel because they're expecting a lot of answers from a copied video. The problem I do have is that it's leaving a lot of people confused and with unanswered questions because they are too lazy to check the description to see that he left the link. It's nothing against him, it's the people. I'm going to see if I can address some of the same issues that was also mentioned on the original video. It's like it's being posted for the first time again. The only difference is since the viewers on this channel don't know who I am, there's not one flat earth comment. I find that interesting. I may do another experiment because there's some questions that I have myself. We'll see by the time I get to the end of this video. A few people asking, are we predestined? No, I don't think so because you affect everyone's reality and everyone affects yours. Let me show you what I mean. This is you, and the circle surrounding you is your reality. And this is another person in their reality. And another. There are billions, but we're going to keep it simple, just focusing on these three. The shaded area of the combined circle is the reality you share with that person. When someone is trying to get you to focus your attention on something, and since energy flows where energy goes, the more you pay with your attention, the more you create that person's reality. And since the majority shares that person's reality, you believe that reality to be true. In other words, you surrender your reality for theirs. Attention is the key. Now that everyone affects your reality by their decisions and you affect theirs by your decisions, it would be impossible to be predestined because reality constantly changing by everyone's constant thoughts. Another thing I keep seeing is a lot of people think I'm promoting atheism. I'm not an atheist. I believe in God, just not the same God most people believe. I believe we're the gods. Most people are too lazy to think for themselves, so they believe what they are told because it's easy and they won't be looked at as an outsider. I don't give a damn how they look at me. They've been programmed not to trust their own common sense even though it makes so much more sense than what they believe. I beat up on their Jesus enough. Let's talk about the devil. I like to see those same people defend the devil after what I'm about to say. The devil doesn't exist either. It's only forces, good and evil. They just gave evil a label so they, the evil ones, won't be accountable for the evil they do. It's not to say that people can't be possessed by demons. Demons are interdimensional beings. They are not the devil. You never hear anybody saying they was hurt by the mythical devil. It's because the mythical devil is trying to take over the world. He has much bigger things to do than waste time on you. Let's pretend the devil is real. He can never hurt you, so how does he control evil people? By the promise of fame, fortune, or power. He sounds pretty weak to me if he has to bribe you. That's not the devil doing that. That's evil people with power doing that. If you ask me, the devil is not getting enough credit. When good things happen to people, thank you, Jesus. But when bad things happen, you don't hear people saying, damn devil screwed me again. When natural disaster strikes, they don't even blame that on the devil. It was an act of God, punishing us for our wicked ways and lack of faith in the Almighty Father God, Lord of Lords. Hallelujah. This is what your multi-million-dollar pastors thinks of you.
That's why we're on that airplane. We can talk to God. Now, oil used to fly airlines, right? But even back there then, man, it got to the place where it was agitating his spirit. Sure. People coming up to him. He had become famous, and they wanted him to pray for him and all that. You can't manage that today. Right. This dope-filled world. Right. You get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
Right. That's exactly the
and it's deadly.
That's right. Only junkies and demons fly commercial. So they need their own private plane that you paid for because for some reason they lack the faith in God to protect them. Call it for what it is. Greed. Devil is the past tense of evil. Evil live. After it's been manifested by someone, then evil has lived. It's the person that committed the evil becomes the devil. These are word magic, by the way, the spelling of spells. Speaking of spells, how do you know when you're under one? Here's how. You force your opinion down the throats of other people without doing adequate research on why you believe what you believe, and at the same time rejecting other people's opinion because they're not under the same spell you are. Let them make their own choice. I don't comment on channels Jesus never existed. Do your research when people talk about Jesus. You believe what you want to believe. That's how I see it. See, I could talk about Christians because I was one. Went to church almost every Sunday. Other days I just watch it on TV. Christians base their life on a book of hidden codes, magic spells, and distorted history that people at the very top understands but won't tell you. Not to mention a book where incest, pedophilia, slavery, rape, and murder is acceptable. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. Do you really need a book to tell you that? Once you deny a Christian's religion, they get filled up with emotions and tell you why you're going to hell. I know, I've been there. Not to hell, but full of emotions. But my question to you is, why do you really care if I or anybody else goes to hell or not? You don't care for people in need now, so why do you care what happens when I die? We're not going to be best friends in heaven, especially if you never looked out for me here on earth, so why do you care so much? What do you get out of it? You think you're going to get extra credit with Jesus even though you won't help out your fellow man when he's down on his luck here? It's because you're either selfish or under a spell. That witchcraft mess is real. Even if you don't believe in it, the people in charge do. You need to keep that in mind. But the thing they don't tell you is that you have this power too. You have way more power than they want you to know. Words are vibrations and frequencies, and those vibrations influence reality. And if you put a lot of attention to it, it becomes your reality. Attention is the key. Ask yourself this question, and I'm not talking to the ones that did so much bad in their life that they turned to Jesus because their life is now in turmoil. That is called karma. This is for those that was raised Christian. Why are you Christian in the first place? Is it because of religion or family tradition? Ask people why they're Republican or Democrats. Most of them you'll find out that it's family tradition. Blind faith. Let's test your common sense. First, the war in heaven. What caused the banishment of the devil and his followers? What started the war? Envy? Jealousy? Both sounds like sin to me, so there's sin in heaven. Then there's the war, and we all know where there's war, there's death. Is there death in heaven? Do spirits die? If so, where do they go from there? Then God banished the devil to hell and earth at the same time, so earth must be hell. To a lot of people it is. Religion got people so terrified of burning in hell. That must be some special fire to burn spirits. Here's another one. You die, you go to heaven sitting on a cloud playing with your harp, worshiping God while he sits there creating things. That's what gods do. Create things. That's what humans do. Create things. Have you ever really paid attention to what we created on this planet? That's why we are special. Imagine having control over a group of beings that can turn a barren planet into a utopia and control reality with their thoughts. While you thinking it's all peaches and cream, then you hear God finally says, alright, humanity is almost dead. It's time to go down there and battle one of my creations. Wish me luck. You think you're just going to sit there and keep playing with your harp? Nah, buddy. You in that battle too. Get your sword game up. There was no battle in heaven. It was a battle someplace else, and that battle was over us. At least I use logic for my reasonings of belief. You just believe what people tell you. Do you really believe penguins and polar bears and their babies just walked back to the Arctic after leaving the Ark? Or God made the earth in 6 days with dinosaur bones already buried in it? For once, trust in yourself and not what people tell you to think. When you finally realize who you really are, you will be amazed at how much the world opens up to you, and you will see all the crap they put in front of you just so you can create the reality they want. They can't create it without your consent. Why you think they tell you what they're going to do before they do it, or put it in movies before it actually happens? They first have to put the thought in your head, if you allow it. Then you pay into it with your attention. That's why you have to pay attention. And the more you pay into it, the more likely that reality will manifest. If you are a Christian and still listening, I'm very proud of you. You are the strong ones. You are at least open-minded to even listen this far and can take criticism. I respect you. A lot of people still complaining about my use of Neil deGrasse Tyson in the comments. Those people are so caught up in their feelings about him being a Mason or a shill or whatever that they dismiss the whole video when it comes to my use of him. I used Neil to make a point on how the simulation theory works. That clip was the best one I could find, even though Katy Perry was getting on my damn nerves, interrupting them a lot. A lot of you don't know I had to cut that clip short because of her. But those same people complain and fail to research and find that simulation theory did not cross Neil's mind until it was brought to his attention by James Gates. Nobody calling James Gates a Mason or shield. What makes his theory any different than Neil's? It's the same theory. You people need to get past your feelings and realize that sometimes the Masons tells you the truth in hopes that you don't believe it. Trump does it all the time. If they give you enough lies, you won't believe the truth. Now, before I get into the coins, check out this clip by Comedy Central I just happened to run into while making this video. Now the thing with the coins, so many people still calling the correct colors even on his channel. You know you're 26 times more likely to get 3 silvers than you would 3 browns. People saying I'm doing a magic trick or using subliminals. They're giving me a lot of credit. I don't know how to do none of that stuff. That's the very first time I ever did something like that. If you think it's a trick, prove it. A magician can't even explain this. Just ask one and stop hating. So why did so many people choose 3 browns? Was it the color you saw most in the jar? You still can't take away the fact that it was still randomly chosen, not to mention many of you chose 3 heads and 1 tail along with the 3 browns. I mentioned that the universe is attempting to sync all realities for predetermined events that's yet to happen. I still believe that. In fact, I believe this reality we're in now is lagging behind the real reality up ahead, and that reality is most likely lagging behind another. That's why we have deja vus. When someone, and it could be anybody, makes a decision and you no longer fit into the predetermined reality, you get sent back to a point in your life before a new change for you takes place that alters the course of your reality, where you now fit into the new predetermined reality. The change seems to happen within 24 hours. When it happened to me, I noticed it, but after it happened to a coworker, I'm almost convinced. A little over a month ago, I was talking to one of my coworkers, and right in the middle of the conversation, he said he just had a deja vu just now that we were standing right here having this conversation. I told him that he was sent back here and a change is about to take place in his life that will alter his regular routine. I just really threw that out there to see how he would react. He asked me is the change bad or good. I told him it could be either or. The very next day he came to me and told me his mother got really sick. He came to work for 2 more days and took off for 3 weeks. That kind of blew my mind. He just returned 2 weeks ago. He told me his mother is doing fine now but still needs care. I'm glad to know she's doing better. If any of you had recent deja vu, I'd like to hear about it. Did a change in your life happen right after? Getting back to the coins, I used to wonder, since it's been put out there, did it now become a permanent reality and most of us just sharing the same collective consciousness, which is why you all chose brown? Or was it predetermined that a large amount of people have already chosen that color in the future to set the stage for them to question their reality beginning the very moment they seen that they matched the colors? And the ones that made all 3 matches were also predetermined so that those individuals would make changes in their life to sync their realities for predetermined events that's yet to happen. I believe it was predetermined. This exercise is a little different from the last one. For this one, you're only going to have one choice to make, and this time we're only doing colors. And these are the colors: brown, white, red, silver, black, green, blue, violet or purple, gray, yellow, orange, and gold. And these cap right here, each one of these caps contain 4 of those 12 colors. But we're only going to use 1 cap. And just like last time, my lovely wife is going to randomly pick out one of these caps. And this right here is the color picker. These marbles right here would choose a color. You have a clear marble with a little design in there. Whoa, dark marble. And this small marble, I like this marble because it looks like a planet. So remember the colors. You got a dark one, clear one, and the small one, the small planet. And that's going to be the shuffle. my wife to have her choose one of the caps. Alrighty. Say hello, Nikki.
Hello.
For all those funny people, shh, it's not my hand. I need you to choose one of these caps for me. Anyone.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. You're very helpful.
You're welcome.
Now, I'll place this cap on top of the shuttler. I gotta be careful because it sticks, which is the reason why I have this magnet here, just in case I have that kind of problem again. Just like last time, I don't want to influence the outcome. Wow. Being very careful. Right. And move these colors out the way. Tricked you. Blue tape. This time I will explain first before I reveal the answer, and this time everyone is involved. The color you chose will most likely play a role when making a decision, or be a part of a decision, or you may see something unique in that color you chosen, or hear it mentioned on TV, radio, or in someone else's conversation. In other words, it will be something that sticks out to you, and this should happen in the near future, most likely within the next 24 hours. If it doesn't, I still would like to know about it in the comment section. After the video, comment the color you've chosen, but don't give away the answer. First thought, listen very carefully. What's the first color that comes to mind when I ask, what color in this cap does not have a marble in it? Remember your color. I had to throw you off a little bit earlier because most people start thinking of the answer before I ask the question, and that's not how it works. It has to be your first thought. And we're focusing on the remaining color in this cap only. Now I'm gonna walk out the room and pull this cover off. And the color with no marble is silver. Did you choose silver? Or should I say, did silver choose you? If silver was the color you chose, then don't panic. Just pay special attention to anything that color. There's a special message in there for you. I chose these colors for a specific reason. I'm in the electronics field and color represents the value of a component, specifically resistors. Coincidentally, 12 colors are used. Go figure. Each of these colors represent a number. To make your choice more interesting for you, here are the numbers that correspond to each color. 0, black. 1, brown. 2, red. 3, orange. 4, yellow. 5, green. 6, blue. 7, violet or purple. 8, gray. 9 white. And gold or silver doesn't really represent a whole number, it's a percentage, so we'll give gold 10 and silver 11. You are more powerful than you know. When God speaks to you, listen to yourself. Thank you for sharing your time with me.